Hi, welcome to the video. I'm Dame, and this is Dame Over, the channel where I try not to get game over. And this time in Battlefield 1 builds, we're having a look at the most popular weapons for each class, starting with the Assault, in an attempt to try and find the best all-round loadout. Just so you guys know, these are not my personal opinions on what I think the best or most popular weapons are. I've got my information from a couple of sources, mainly from battlefieldtracker.com and simthic.com, which I will leave links to in the description if you're interested yourself. There's a variety of filters you can choose from with different weapon stats, including vehicles and sentry kits, and you can be even more specific by looking at hits with each weapon, shots fired, or do what I did, which was look at number of kills and time spent using the weapon. So let's have a look at our build. And as you would have seen from the previous clips, our primary is the Hellriegel 1915 Factory. As you'll know, this SMG is unlocked when you reach level 10 with the Assault class. When the game first dropped, the class progression was capped at 10, so the final unlock was kind of like an ultimate reward, giving you what could be seen as the best gun for that class. And now the game's in its 8th month since release, and a meta has become very apparent like it does in all FPS games. And according to these stats here, the Hellriegel, which is the bright blue line, is the out-and-out winner for both kills and time spent using the weapon. This would heavily suggest that the Hellriegel is the best gun, as the vast majority of players, a staggering 40% plus on average, are choosing to use it as their primary. So the most important question is why, and I've gone into detail with the Hellriegel before in a how-to with some tips and tricks in there as well, but let's look at the most important and relevant points. Number 1 is versatility. It can kill at ranges that the other SMGs really do struggle with. It's mostly due to the recoil being very generous, and trigger tapping really is your friend if you engage someone at mid-range or further. Up close, this gun will always stand a good chance of winning, because of the fast fire rate and the quick time to kill. And these stats sit solidly in between the MP18 being the slowest, and the Automatico being the fastest over all distances. And the bullets to kill match the MP18 exactly, but with a much faster fire rate. On paper, the Hellriegel wins every time. I've deliberately left out shotgun stats here because at optimum range they are almost all one-hit kills, and on the whole only need one shot to get it done. The second most important point is the large magazine. You've got 60 rounds to play with before you need to reload, meaning you're able to take on multiple enemies without having to stop and put more bullets in your gun. Whereas the MP18, which has got 32 and the Automatico at 25, kinda limit you to fighting 2 opponents on average before reloads required. Now, most importantly is ease of use. The time spent portion of the graph is so high for a reason, and I believe it's not just because of the stats. The most important part of a weapon in any FPS game is ease of use, which can differ from gun to gun depending on the player. Lots of people prefer to use the MP18 or the Automatico because it fits into their playstyle a lot better, and yes, they are both very good weapons, and in the right hands when used in the right way can be very effective. But the Hellriegel doesn't need much of an adjustment. And because of the versatility over a variety of ranges, it clearly appeals to a much wider player base. In my personal experience, the Hellriegel is the easiest SMG to use. As long as you play to its strengths and keep your targets between close to mid-range in a head-to-head fight, or flank where you can to mow them down from a blind spot, you'll end up walking away with the kills most of the time. The only really hard counters for the Hellriegel that I've experienced are the Automatico Trench and the Model 10A, all variants of, when you're in very close quarters. Obviously there's the risk of being picked off by other weapons that are effective at long range, but that's true for all the classes, so let's just assume that that's part of it. Now onto the secondary, which is the M1911. This pistol is the most popular choice for similar reasons to the Hellriegel. It's the most versatile of the sidearms. All of the stats sit solidly in the middle, which you would expect as it's the first sidearm available to you. It's relatively easy to handle, has good damage up close and even at further ranges. Hip firing is quite accurate, and it's got a generous 8-bullet magazine and a reasonably fast reload. All in all, it's a reliable backup if you have to change weapons, and it feels satisfying to use to boot. Gadget number 1 is the Antitank nades. The reasons for this are quite simple. Unlike dynamite, you can throw these safely from a distance. They are obviously very good for destroying vehicles, but most importantly, they give you another option against infantry if you so choose. Carrying these takes your overall grenade count to 3, which in my book is only a good thing. Gadget number 2 is the formidable AT rocket gun. I've spoken about this before a lot because I think it's a must-have for the Assault class. You can take out vehicles and infantry from ranges you would simply not be able to do with the rest of your loadout. It's a brilliant counter-sniping tool, it destroys buildings and cover, and most importantly, it's relatively easy to use. You do need to be aware of the bullet drop at long range, but with a bit of practice, this isn't too hard to work out. Our grenade is the frag grenade. Again, short and sweet, it's very powerful and versatile and can be used in a variety of ways. It doesn't require quite as much decision making or precision as other grenades, and that's why I choose it all the time. Finish off kills, damage people first, or flush people out of cover. The options are endless, as long as those 3 options are the only ones you want. Finally, the melee, which is the combat knife. I'd like to think it's the most used because the knives have the largest one-hit kill range, which makes them easier to use in sneak attacks. The real reason is probably just sheer laziness from the player base, but the melee doesn't really matter, so if it ain't broke. So that was my most used assault build. I'd like to know what you guys think of the weapon choices from the Battlefield community, and if you prefer other weapons, then I'd like to know what they are and why. If you had a good time, hit the like button. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button too. And until next time, that's Dame over. Peace.